Hello and welcome to my Roto review. Today we're going to talk about this bad boy. This is the Roto chair, and this thing here is supposed to solve a couple of things in VR, including being seated for the entire time and turning in VR. But first of all, let's kick this off with one thing. This chair here is retailing for $800. Now that sounds like a hell of a lot of money because, well, it is a lot of money. So I know that's going to put off probably 80 or 90% of the people from purchasing this particular item. Now, one thing I will say about the Roto chair is, well, it's made for Meta, which is nice, which means they're affiliated with Meta themselves to work with things like the Quest 2, 3, 3S. I mean, honestly, this thing would even work with the Quest 1 because it doesn't actually interface with your Quest. Now, I will say as well, this isn't their first dabble into the industry. They've also released a chair, I think a while back now, that was retailing for around 2,000, which is, of course, absurd money. So the fact that they've squashed this down to 800 is actually pretty decent, and I would hope that, like, in the future, they can squash it down way further. Now, of course, if you're still sticking around at this point, then you guess you want to know more about this chair, maybe out of intrigue or maybe out of the fact that you want to pick one up. So I want to lay out a few things here and talk about really a few pros and cons of this thing. But before we dive into that, let's talk a little bit more about how this thing works. Now, the way this thing works is this is the little Pokemon puck that is going to pretty much set you up for the entire thing. It's got a little clip on the back that you'll clip to the top of your headset, and when you turn, it will turn the chair. Now, I will say it's fairly responsive. As you turn, it turns. It does the job that you'd expect it to, and it's fairly quick with responding to different turn patterns to pretty much lock you in and keep you going in the game for long periods of time. It also has manual turning as well built in. If you click either of the corners of the Pokeball, well, then you can manually turn yourself as well. I have no idea why you'd want to do this, other than to maybe recenter yourself back in your play space if you really wanted to. I guess at this point, I've told you everything about the chair. It's got a rumble pack built into it as well, which is pretty dope if you want to use that. There's a few more hoops you have to jump through to be able to use that. So I'm not going to dive too deep into the rumble pack. Yes, it's there. Yes, you know, I think we all know what a rumble pack does. It vibrates your bum bum. Is this chair for me? Well, honestly, no, because for me, I'm a stood up sort of player. I like to stand up, be fully immersed in the game, and I'm always on my feet when I'm playing virtual reality, bar the very few sort of circumstances where I'll be playing something like No Man's Sky. So yeah, this chair is not really for me, but who is it for? Well, there's a ton of seated players out there that play VR purely seated all the time, and there's also a subset of people that suffer with motion sickness in VR. Apparently, this is supposed to really help with that, although I have heard rumblings that some people have got a little bit motion sick using this. So we'll test it out today. Me, I am a cast iron lad. I freaking suffer with zero motion sickness. So if this thing gives it to me, then there's a problem there. And we'll find it out when we actually test this thing out. Other than that though, guys, I think there's really only one other thing to do, and that's to dive into a game and try this thing out. The only thing I will say is I'm a little scared to be in something like this when I can't freaking see, but maybe it'll be okay. We'll find out in a second. Okay, hold A to start. That's me, a Batman. Oh my god, this is kind of weird. Bam. Ah, okay, I can kind of see this. Oh, who wants some? You want some? Bam, bam. Oh yeah, you little dodged. Okay, this is kind of, I mean, it's pretty cool. Ow, bro, I'm trying to turn in my freaking Roto chair, don't you know? I am the Batman. I am Batman. Oh my god. Okay, we're looking around. What up, Batman?
Stop talking. Start.
Okay, there are times this is kind of annoying. If I'm trying to look at a screen and I'm just slightly move my head a little bit, it does start to stray. I'm like, see you later, buddy. I was trying to look at the screen, but I don't know I can now. Okay, here we go. Bam, bam. Oh yeah, you want some? What about you? Bam, bam, bam. You want this? Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe this is kind of cool. Maybe this is kind of cool. I'm trying to figure it out. I can't tell if I freaking love this or don't. Damn, dude. This is, I don't know, man. Like I say, I can't quite cut. It works incredibly well. I will say that actually I think the claim that this is going to save on people's motion sickness could actually be true, because this does feel a lot better having my 1-for-1 movement. just freaking going for it, man. Damn, I will say this is actually pretty freaking decent. I kind of like that I'm being moved around while I'm doing this. It feels kind of cool. I don't think I could personally use this because I really like that physicality of actually doing stuff, but looking around and this doing that's kind of cool. The only thing I will say is if you do that and then look that way, man, it does not feel great on your neck. Like there is a bit of knee-jerk reaction in there. We'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, well, after playing it in there, it definitely works well, although I will say there's this mad thing happening when you turn and turn back very quickly, which happens a lot as a very common movement to actually do in VR. Like, straight up whiplash, my dog. Like, I think you could get used to that and sort of be more prepared over time using this thing, but criminy, like that first time it happened, my neck was like, oh, I think I've damaged myself. But other than that one thing, that actually felt pretty freaking good to get in there and just turn, very intuitive. It works incredibly well. One of the other features that I just learned that this has is that when you take your headset off, it instantly just disengages the fact of the motion sensor. So I was like, taking my headset off, I was a little bit fearful for a second. I was like, if I take this off, will I spin out and die and just get flung off of this bad boy? Thankfully, the answer to that is no. So it's good that it has that safety feature built into this thing. I guess really this leaves us well. Final thoughts on this chair. The Roto chair, is it worth $800? Well, yeah, this is an incredibly well built piece of gear. And I think if you have a problem to solve, this could actually be it. I can definitely see how this could help with motion sickness. Personally, for me, gave me no bad feelings whatsoever. This definitely has the right kind of vibe going for it. I think it's very expensive, so it's kind of pricing itself out of most people's league when it comes to this kind of gear, but nonetheless, this is a very well-built, well-made unit, and I definitely recommend this if you're looking for something like this specifically. Other than that, this has been the Roto chair. I don't think you'll see it again on the channel, but thank you very much to Roto for basically giving me this thing. Other than that, if you enjoyed this, smash like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. I'm just going to keep spinning now into eternity. I may drill through the floor eventually. Who really knows? I'm going to keep doing this until you smash like and subscribe. Other than that, take care, everybody. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.